Yes. 1 minute. All right. So yesterday we have seen, how we started with like how many different types of clouds are there in Salesforce. So I told you one thing that the kind of services, whatever Salesforce would provide you, you know, they have been classified. They have been classified into different clouds, and mostly it's sales, service, and marketing. Now, see, marketing actually itself is a very specialized cloud, right? And it have so many things. It have so many things like it have email studios and mobile and SMS. Now, see what you will when we will be learning this, right? We actually would not get the exact flavor of marketing. The reason behind this is actually the complete feature of marketing cloud. That itself is a paid version. I could show you that a little bit. I'll try to see. Actually, the logins are different. The logins are different for the marketing cloud. The logins are different, and this actually is a paid version. This actually is a paid version. So, marketing cloud mostly have. It's actually yesterday itself I told you that the marketing cloud was not fully developed. Rather, there was an existing product called Exact Target. So what Salesforce did is like Salesforce has purchased the rights of Exact Target, and then it converted it from the on-premise to the on-cloud. And then these are some of the extensive features of Marketing Cloud. Although because that are available only with the paid version, I cannot show you exactly. I can only tell you what are the features and what is the use of that. So email studios, particularly whenever we wanted to send an email to multiple peoples, multiples in terms of millions of the people, not just multiple. It's not 1, 2, 10, 50, 100,000. It's actually up to 5 million. You can send an email. 1 million is 10 lakhs, so 5 million obviously is 50 lakh. You can send an email to millions of the people. You can call periodically, them. You can send the SMS again to the multiple peoples. And the social studio journey builder, these are some of the extensive features of Marketing Cloud. And they are particularly, they are social studios are particularly used to put up the advertisements, to integrate the social media platforms like Facebook, the Meta, and some other platforms as well. Journey builder typically is being used from the financial organizations, right? So journey builder is actually a feature of the Salesforce, which mostly in US, mostly the banks, they are using it right now. And let me try to give you a brief introduction about journey builder. Otherwise, you can definitely go and Google this terminology, and you will going to get you will going to get so much of the material for this. Actually, what happens in US is like, here in India, what happens, if you go to a bank, for example, you required a loan, probably like education loan, or like you are going with some higher studies, you are going with some universities, and you wanted, right? You wanted that all of the expenses, you wanted to bear it with a loan. So you go to a bank and then you ask them that I wanted to had a education loan, something like that. So they would ask you to submit so much of the documents, first of all. Why? Because with all those documents, with all those screening process, they would identify whether whether we call this thing as a CIBIL score, whether your CIBIL score, or maybe your credibility is good enough that bank could provide you a loan. So in India, it's like, we have lots of the paperwork related to everything. This is not just with the loan. It's almost with almost every process. You have to submit so much of the documents. Now, what is happening in US is like, this the entire part of documentation that have been removed, right? And what is happening over there is like, the journey builder is one of that feature. What is going to be happen would be like, if you wanted to apply for a loan, there would be, obviously, you don't require to go to bank. Now it's everything over there is paperless. And moreover, when it's a financial organization, you literally don't require to visit physically to the banks and all that. You just require to go with their application. Now application itself sorry, application internally have something called as journey builder, right? It's a platform of Salesforce. So it would, it would it would evaluate everything related to yours. And it would, journey builder would take I could say that take the information from so many different platforms, and it would actually generate a report on behalf of the bank. It would actually generate a report that this person who is applying for a loan, I mean, is he's having existing loans, or maybe what is the credibility, how much the chances, and what's the probability that he could make the proper repayment of this every I mean, repayment of this loans and everything. So this way, actually, journey builder would help somebody to build up his journey. It helps the financial organizations typically, so that they could minimize the number of days what is required to provide their services, and it helps them as well. It helps them as well to minimize the paperwork and all that, right? So this was just an introduction, a small introduction, what this journey builder could do. You can definitely go and Google this, and you will going to find some of the features of journey builders as well. Now let me come to the next thing, and that is the app cloud. Yesterday I told you that, see, whenever we wanted to build up an application, right, one CRM application, so I told you that Salesforce is that technology which provide you SaaS, which provide you PaaS, and which provide you EaaS as well. Now, as a part of PaaS, platform as a service, as a part of PaaS, Salesforce have two major things. One is force.com and the second is database.com. The first one is the force.com and the second one is database.com. So everything, whatever you create, it's actually being from the force.com. And the database.com would provide the data backup. It's a database repository for whatever your application, right? See, every application requires data. Understand? Every application requires the data. Now, Salesforce, Salesforce don't hire anybody. Salesforce doesn't hire like Oracle or maybe IBM to store the data from there. And no, Salesforce have their own servers. You have studied that as well. When we were discussing EaaS, infrastructure as a service, you remember I told you that Salesforce have their own servers. Salesforce have their own servers, and they are situated into three different regions. The first one was like US region. Now it contains the servers of NA. NA stands for North America, and from the Canada, right? And from the Mexican servers. And there were so many, I mean, there were so many servers over there in the NA region. The second region was EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. The third region was Asia Pacific. So these are the three regions: NA region, America region, EMEA region, or Asia Pacific region. So Salesforce have their own server. That means they are capable to provide the database backup as well. And you certainly don't require to seek, things from the Oracle or somebody else, right? That is what the capacity. Now, whenever we develop an application, because Salesforce provide you something called as PaaS, platform as a service. So as a part of PaaS service, Salesforce give you these two things, force.com and a database.com. So with these two platforms, you can merely develop all types of applications, CRM applications, right? Now, the another way to get the application is App Exchange. Let me try to show you what exactly it means by the App Exchange. All right. So I'll be logging into one of my organization. I'm having so many of them. See, let me take you to something called as App Exchange, right? App Exchange. appexchange.salesforce.com. Now, what is this? So first of all, it's a place, it's a cloud. What is an app exchange? It's an application, it's a cloud-based application, right? Now, this app exchange actually, it's a recommended place where you will get ready-made Salesforce applications of different categories. You can go with finance, human, HR, enterprise, ERP, sales. And there are so many categories. These are the top categories. But if you go in the detail, you could get, for example, if I go with like product collections, I could search based on the clouds. I could based on the industries as well, right? I could search it. Right? I could search it. For example, let me go with the education. If I wanted to add certain application related to education, I can go with this category and I can see, I mean, how many different types of ready-made applications the developers like you and me, right? They created their own application and they have launched it. They have launched it over onto the App Exchange. Now, see, it is as good as your Google Play Store. Whenever you wanted an application on your mobile device, what we usually we do, we go to the Google Play Store, and there we, there we search for the application, we download it. The same way you get the applications, the ready-made applications, Salesforce application from the App Exchange. Now, if I ask you, in the Google Play Store, is everything is free? You will be saying to me that there are few of the products, there are few of the applications that are free, and there are other few applications for which you require to pay for it. In the same way, over here as well, as you can see, this application is free. This application is also free, but these are some of the paid applications, right? So it's like, it's the same place. The only difference is like, here you will only going to get the Salesforce application, the CRM application, related to different categories. Some of them are paid, some of them are free as well. So this is also one of the way, if you wanted to get some application, you first of all should look to the App Exchange. If you got a similar kind of application over there, you could install that and you can use that as well. So this is also one of the category of getting the application. Otherwise, mostly we create every application from the scratch itself. Now, the second, after App Cloud, the next is data.com. Data.com. And see, people usually get themselves confused with database.com and data.com. Okay, actually, these are two separate terminologies. They belongs to two separate domain. And certainly, certainly, database.com and data.com is not same. These represents two entire different set of terminologies, two entire different set of functionalities. All right. So first of all, understand database.com is separating. What is database.com? It's a database repository of Salesforce. It's a database repository of Salesforce. Whatever the data the Salesforce application is generating, they are being stored. All of them are being stored inside a repository called database.com. All right. So that is what a database.com. Let's come to data.com. Data.com. See, I'll tell you one story. That's the same like Marketing Cloud. See, Marketing Cloud was exact target. Marketing Cloud was exact target. Even though even today also, I'll tell you, today also, the URL is this one. If you wanted to access the Marketing Cloud, this is the URL. mc.exact targets. mc.exact target is actually, it's actually this. Marketing Cloud dot exact target. So though this has been converted, but Salesforce, Salesforce still has, just to know their consumers that it was initially exact target. Salesforce has kept it. Otherwise, Salesforce could, completely change that. You will never came to know that there was something called as an exact target. But as an courtesy to this product, Salesforce now also has, although it has, in the URL itself, you could see the name exact target. Login.exact target. You can see that. So similarly, there was one of the product called as Jigsaw. There was one of the product called Jigsaw. Now, what is Jigsaw? Actually, Salesforce converted Jigsaw into data.com. Jigsaw was an on-premise product. Now it's an on-cloud with the name called data.com. Now, let me tell you this. So what is an Jigsaw? See, basically, Jigsaw inside US only. This is not apart from the US. It's not for few of the country of the Europe. It was there, but mostly it was with US only. So what Jigsaw used to do is like Jigsaw used to perform the survey. They were having so many different ways that they perform survey and collect the information. So mostly they were having two different types of informations with them: people informations and organization informations. And they used to sell this information. Now you would think, sir, iska kya jarurat hai? Now, why Jigsaw would sell the information? Yes, it's very something which is I could say that it's a very beneficial thing for all of the business to identify the quality leads. See, if you wanted to sell a product, right, the basic rule is to first identify your customers. You have to identify that particular set of person or maybe organization, which could be in need of your product. आप ऑब्वियसली आप सोचो ना, जिसको जिस चीज की जरूरत है आप उसको वही बेच सकते हो. You cannot sell a non-veg to a vegetarian person, right? Obviously, because he don't eat that. The same way. So what Jigsaw used to do is like, Jigsaw was one of the application. It was actually a company that time. It was a company, not just an application. It was a whole sum of company. What Jigsaw people used to do, they used to collect the information and they maintain everything. It was something like, there was a time, aap log ne nahi dekha, pata nahi, because you guys are mobile kids, but the people, those who are of my age, They know there was something called as BSNL का phone हुआ करता था एक जमाने में, and there was something called as telephone directory, right? So jitne bhi numbers hua karte, they were all being printed into that, and whenever you buy a connection, you got that directory with them. So it was something like that, but and obviously in a different context. तो कैसा था कि Jigsaw was one of the organization, Jigsaw was one of the company in US that used to collect two types of information, people and organization. Now let's say you started a business somewhere in California. Or maybe you are an pharmaceutical organization and you recently come up with a drug, or probably it is very effective for diabetic patients. I mean, the medicine what you just have invented, it's actually very effective in case of diabetes. You wanted to sell this product. What you are going to do? You will going to first of all contact Jigsaw and you will tell them, can you please provide me the data of like in the California, can you please provide me the data of all those persons who are actually diabetic, who are suffering from diabetes, because I'm having one medicine, I wanted to sell this product, but obviously this product would be would be sold to only those people who are suffering from diabetics, or maybe someone in their family. I would like to pitch them as well, right? So here you wanted to identify the targeted audience for your product, and that is where you contacted Jigsaw. That is the first example. Second example, you recently probably I mean, you are having a business of selling the laptops or computers or desktop, whatever, and you contacted to Jigsaw, is there any prospective for my business in my city? Jigsaw would give you the information, yes, 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 organization information. Recently, I came to know about that somewhere around VNIT college, one new company, L&T, one new company is going to be in the Ambasari Road. One new company is coming. So that's an IT company. And if it's an IT company, for sure they are going to require thousands of laptop and all that. You could contact to them. So this is a valuable information. See, it's a valuable information to me. Okay, I came to know that one company is coming into my city, right? And they would probably require this. Just an example. Don't go into deep this. I just wanted you to understand that Jigsaw was one of the application that helps other business. It was B2B, business to business, that helps other business, to get the targeted audience, to get the quality leads and all that. Now, Salesforce came to know about this, and Salesforce find very interesting into this way of doing the business. So Salesforce purchased the rights of Jigsaw and then converted this application from on-premise to on-cloud. Now, Salesforce also used to do the same thing. If you wanted to identify the quality leads, if you wanted to sell this, and this is for not B2C, it's actually B2B. This is not B2C. B2C and business to customer. It's actually business to business. This module doesn't work for the client directly. Rather, it works for one business to another business. So now that Jigsaw has been converted into data.com. And see, this totally is entirely a new concept. There's no relationship with data and database.com. People usually could be like, the naming conventions and all that. People make themselves to be get confused. But otherwise, there's nothing that is similarity between database.com and data.com. That two are entirely representing two different conceptual areas. All right. So that is what a Jigsaw is. The last cloud is or not last, the last what I'm saying, the next one is actually collaboration cloud. Collaboration, I'll show it to you. First of all, what is collaboration? In simple words, the charter fields. See over here, as you can see, if I go with this, it's an RTF field, rich text field. Hi, we have we decided, just a second, we decided through a party this weekend. All right. So I'm just typing, I could make this bold, right? I could make this bold and I can do whatever I want. And when I share it, when I share it, this message will going to float inside the organization. All of the users, let's try to see that as well. How many users? And don't worry about this whole navigations and everything. मैं यहाँ click कर रहा हूँ, वहाँ click कर रहा हूँ, वो छोड़ दो अभी, वो सब आप सीख लोगे. So don't worry. I'm having these many users inside the organization, right? I'm having these many users inside the organization. All right. These all are the users inside the organization. Now, when I post something, it goes to all of them. It goes to all of them. And you can see some messages are already over there. So this is a place where you can type something, you can attach a file, you can plan for a new event. There are so many things you can do. You can assign a task, you can insert a new contact, you can make a call, log a call, you can insert a new opportunity. There's so many. You can even you could even post some questions. You could ask for some sort of voting, right? Some sort of voting also you can initiate. And there are so many things you can do. This particular thing, this particular feature, what you are seeing on the home tab is something called as Salesforce Chatter. Salesforce Chatter over here. Salesforcemarketingapp.com, Salesforce Chatter. See, when you click onto Salesforce Chatter, you actually come to access this, right? And this can be accessed from the home tab as well. Anyways, what I'm showing you. This is a feature. This is a feature. It the more popular name is Chatter. Otherwise the technical name is Salesforce Collaboration Cloud. What you are using right now, is a feature, Salesforce Chatter or Collaboration Cloud. Now understand what is the need of this. All right. See, in IT, it's very common to have the internal communication, and we mostly do with it with the Microsoft Teams, as you can see, or sometimes with the Zoom as well. So we always have certain software for our daily communications, for our daily meetings and all that, stand up, whatever. But let's consider one thing. See, now these softwares are very expensive. Right? And for a team, usually it's like, if you are working for a team, we could have team members from different. Let's say we are working for a project for the TCS, and there are total 10 members that are involved into this module or maybe this project. Some of them are sitting inside Hyderabad, some of them are inside Delhi, like your developers, your leads, yeah, one of them is sitting in the Bangalore, the project manager, and two of them are sitting inside the delivery managers and all that. They are sitting inside USA. Now we are having the team. We are a group of 10 team members, and all of them are probably sitting into different cities. Now, how they are going to manage the internal communication? So, are they going to call each other? No, that is not ethical. Moreover, it is not in IT. Nobody calls you. IT, nobody. Even though if they have their number, unless and until you have a very close friendship, that's a different story. But usually, professionally, nobody calls you. Nobody ever call you on your personal number, and they will never text you, message you. And it's IT. It's actually very. It's we maintain that professionalism over here. So whatever the communication that requires to be get done, we usually have certain channel for that. And in most of the companies, it's on Microsoft Teams. So we use, certain different software, like, Skype for the business was something before Microsoft Teams. Now it's usually Microsoft Teams. IBM do have certain product called as Lotus same time. And then Zoom is also we use. But what is the common in all of them is they are very expensive applications. So if you are a mid-level organization, if you are an MNC, you're a big organization, mid-level organization, then it's okay. You can bear that much of the expense. But let's say if you are a small startup organization, right, and you are having you're having lots of issues with the funding and all that, you cannot bear this. You cannot bear. In that case, the organization could not bear this much of the expensive software. So what they can do? The second opinion to this, if we cannot go with the license version, there's one another way that you can go with some of the open source tool. Like there are some of the open source tools like Skype, Track Plus, and all that. But whenever you go with any open source tool, there are so many threats. First of all, the open source tool, they can be easily hackable. They can be easily hackable, and it's actually a threat to the internal security. Because there is no they are actually open source, so the security can be compromised very easily over there. And second is actually it affects your branding, it affects your rating. See, every company have certain called something called as CIMM rating. I'm not sure about the full form and all that, but yeah, this actually indicates the value of the company. I mean, how much assets company is having, how much business the company is doing around the year and all that. So companies, organization, they are very much cautious about maintaining their CIM level. And this organization, when they come into the premises and when they evaluate everything, they even evaluate, are you using any open source tool? So if you are using certain open source tool, your marks are going to be get deducted for this. So that could again affect the brandings and all that, right? So organization usually don't use open source tool. Then what is the way? You cannot buy Microsoft Teams. You don't have money for that. At the same time, you don't wanted to go with any of the open source tool. So what is the solution for this? So for this, Salesforce actually has provided you one feature, and then this come with every edition, every edition of the Salesforce. We are going to learn how many different editions of theirs are there. But this collaboration cloud, this chatter come with every edition of the Salesforce, right? It's not like कि ये इसमें है उसमें है उसमें नहीं है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. This come with every edition of Salesforce. This come with every edition of Salesforce. So with this, you could initiate the internal communications. And apart from just posting something, there are so many things that you can do. You can see this all options are over here, right? There are so many things that we can perform with the collaboration cloud feature, and it is free. Obviously, it is free because that's a feature of your org. So with collaboration cloud, what we get is like, one moment, just a moment. Yeah, with the collaboration cloud, what you get is like, you get a communication messenger. You get a communication messenger so that your internal users could have a communication in between them. And if you are saying कि अगर ये तो मतलब कैसा है कि ये तो Microsoft Teams से भी हो जाता है and all that, I'll tell you one thing. Let me try to show you something. So this is how exactly the Salesforce, collaboration cloud, the chatter, is a very important feature. It is not just about, posting something to your friends and asking them for the party. No, it is more than that. It is more than that. So that is one of the important feature available with the Salesforce. And there are some other clouds as well. There are so many other clouds with the Salesforce, like Salesforce Einstein. Now see, Salesforce Einstein is a whole new set of functionalities, and it is available for the projects where IoT is involved, Internet of Things, the artificial intelligence, and all these robotics, right? So if you're having an interest in these kinds of this branch of computer science, right? So you can initially start your career with the classic because that is the base of Salesforce. But later on, you can go and learn Salesforce Einstein as well, because Einstein particularly is working only on the segment where IoT project or robotic project or the project related to artificial intelligence, they are being created. So Salesforce also have a branch, I could say. Salesforce also have a cloud that typically work for artificial intelligent and robotic projects. Now the some of the recent clouds that are added inside the Salesforce is like education cloud is one of them, health cloud, community cloud, which we call this as to be an experience cloud. Okay, NPSP, non-profit service pack. And then one recent thing that is added just 6 to 7 months back is the manufacturing cloud. This is the most recent cloud. It is newly added just 6 to 7 months back, manufacturing cloud. So this is how you could understand that Salesforce is continuously expanding. And moreover, it is adding functionalities. The first thing is like either it is introducing new functionalities to the existing cloud, or rather it is coming up with a whole new set of new functionality with a whole new name of a new cloud. That is what. So this is what. So now you can simply understand कि ऐसा थोड़ी ना हो सकता कि Salesforce and one day is going to become obsolete. No, somebody when he actually making upgradations, in actually coming with new features. This is very it's not possible that that technology is going to be get obsolete. अभी SAP आज कम से कम 30 years हो रहा है, 25 साल से भी ऊपर हो रहा है SAP को. SAP is still in the business. There are very less improvements into that. Still the framework of SAP is same, but still that is the technology is still in the business. So how come you are suspicious about Salesforce that someday it is going to become obsolete? No, it's not possible. It's continuously upgrading itself, right? So these are. There are so many different clouds in the Salesforce. All of them I have tried to list it out over here, right? So go with this by today. Tomorrow I'm going to start with the next topic, and that is releases of the Salesforce. I'm not going to start it by today. All right, that's all for today. Let me give you this command if you wanted to ask something. Now you are having this command. Yes, please unmute yourself. You can ask me. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions? Fine.